Our next finalist to present is Lionheart Biotechnology. It's all yours, folks.
Hi everyone, my name is Max James. I'm joined here by Dr. Stephen Leonard, and today we're going to tell you about limitless oncology. Now, by a show of hands, who here in the audience has been affected by cancer, either personally or through a loved one? Thank you. Almost everyone, including myself, has been impacted by cancer in some way. And in fact, 1 in every 6 deaths globally is due to cancer, making it the second leading cause of death in the world. So there's a clear and dire need for better cancer treatments today. The world of oncology is currently shifting from a one-size-fits-all approach towards a more personalized approach to treating patients. And this is important because you might have 2 patients who are incredibly similar. They could be twins even, who develop the same type of cancer. And they might have the same, of course, genetic background, they might have the same lifestyle, environmental exposures, diet, and they might develop the same cancer and respond completely differently to therapy. And this is because although 2 patients might be similar, their cancers are going to have a mind of their own, meaning that it's vital that each patient receives treatment that's tailored to their specific condition. So this is a field of cancer precision medicine, and it's a field that Lionheart Biotechnology is taking aim at with our breakthrough technology developed right here in Tallahassee at Florida State University. It's a lab-on-a-chip platform that allows us to match each patient to the right treatment for them by testing 10,000 different possible treatments on just a small sample of their tumor. And Dr. Leonard, the inventor, is going to tell us a little bit more.
Thanks, Max. So I'm excited to explain a little about this invention of mine that's licensed by Lionheart Biotechnology. It's the result of a 5-year project in my lab and a $1.3 million grant from the National Institutes of Health. The idea is to miniaturize laboratory procedures, and for this particular application, the idea is to take a small biopsy from the patient and expose those cells to the different drugs or different possible treatments at different dosages and different combinations. It can easily reach more than 10,000 possibilities, and then we can use that to guide the treatment. Instead of having to do the trial and error in the patient, we can try all these possibilities in the chip and find the one that works best in order to improve the patient outcome. So this was inspired by the computer industry, where miniaturization of transistors has given us amazing capabilities. So to summarize, we can do 10,000 tests on one chip. This is scalable, so that's what we can do right now. It's minimally invasive, meaning we can use a small number of high-value cells from the biopsy. Importantly, it's rapid. Some other technologies can take months to grow enough cells. We can use fresh cells and get results within 1 day. This is important for aggressive tumors that can grow quickly, and you want to stop them as soon as you can. And our large amount of data gives us high statistical confidence for identifying the optimal therapy.
Thank you, Dr. Leonard. So if you're thinking that technology like this would garner interest from some key players in industry, you'd be right. And over the past year, Lionheart's technology has attracted the interest of some of the biggest companies in biotech and the pharmaceutical industry, including Axam, Arcturus, IRBM, and Gilead. And if anybody's ever heard of the drug Tamiflu, you know who Gilead is. And if we take a deeper dive into the global precision medicine market, we can see that it's expected to more than double in the next 7 years, meaning that with the tremendous interest that we've had so far, there's no better time than now than to capitalize on this market growth with this unique technology. So in a nutshell, with limitless oncology, every patient can be sure that the treatment that they're receiving is going to be the one that's going to give them the best fighting chance to beat their cancer. And no other platform comes close to this life-saving capability. I'm joined by Dr. Stephen Leonard, Dr. Jeff Whalen, and Brad Wallman, and my time's up. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, well done, guys. All right, judges, hit them with your questions.
What's your largest obstacle in getting these FDA-approved targeted chemotherapeutic drugs? So you haven't had access to them, right?
Yeah,
Or you
so
have? Like,
yeah,
what's the current standing, and what's your largest barrier?
yeah, so that's a really good question. Currently, we have a quite small library of drugs. It contains around 200 different compounds. But we want to, the beachhead that we want to attack is lung cancer first, because we have already experience dealing with lung cancer patient-derived xenograft cells. So we want to be able to grow our library to contain the 50 or so compounds that are FDA approved for lung cancer, and we want to use these in combinations too, because it turns out that combination therapy for cancer is often more effective. And to do this, we're going to use some of the grant money from the tech grants to purchase a new FDA approved drug library.
When you do the test, or you get the sample, does that have to go to a centralized lab, or will it be in disparate labs around the country?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because these assays are very small, they fit in the palm of your hand in just a small microscope slide. This can be a decentralized process. This process can occur in every hospital that does cancer biopsies. Also, with just a small microscope, yeah.
I assume you need FDA approval?
Yeah.
So for the therapy, the cancer therapy, we do, and that can be. There's a research market, so our plan, one strategy, we're open to other ideas, but the current business strategy would be to sell it to researchers such as myself who are doing this type of research, and many of us are involved in clinical trials, and they can be readily integrated into current trials that are funded by government grants, like through the NIH, for instance.
Have you conducted much for any customer discovery, reaching out to that research market, finding out how many are interested?
Yeah, 100%. We have interest from and we've been actually working closely with some rather large, not only oncology drug discovery companies, but also companies that conduct these kind of clinical trials. And we have not only about half a dozen companies in the space, but we have close to a dozen academic labs who are ready to integrate this technology into their current pipelines.
Have you learned anything from that about what your price point would have to be of interest, and how do you think your costs would fit within that price point?
100%. Interestingly enough, the oncology market's not like other markets. It's not good to compete on price because people will see your technology as being, a bit cheaper. However, with miniaturization comes a decrease in cost, and the cost associated with running these tests is about 1% of the cost of other leading technologies because it's so miniaturized and so rapid. So by selling these chips at about $500 per test or even less, we should be able to get this product out to market pretty and have it be widespread. There's no other technology like this that can be so readily integrated and so inexpensive, and that's what our partners are interested in.
So let me see if I get this right. You're not actually looking for FDA approval, you're looking to go through the trials and research so that you don't have to have FDA approval for it at that point because it's trials and research. And typically for trials and research, the patient isn't paying with their insurance, so the pharmaceutical company would be paying for this test through their trial. Was this what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Our goal is to first, get this to clinical trials, as quickly as possible because we believe it can really have a tremendous impact, and gain more experience handling patients-derived cells, get it down to this number of 24 hours to process a test, and then to move on to fresh cells that are taken from patients in the hospital. And that will require some FDA approval a little down the road.
That does it. Well done, gentlemen. Great presentation.